So why is identity so important to having thriving relationships? There's probably countless answers to this question, but let me offer you a couple that may be helpful, and you may have more that you want to add in the comments below. That would be awesome. One of them, I think, or I find in my life, is when I know who I am, then in my relationships I'm much more grounded. Every relationship has its moments of struggle or conflict or disagreement or miscommunication. And when I'm not connected to my true self, my true identity, I find that those times, those challenges just grow. I find that not knowing who I am, not being able to answer that clearly in those moments, really causes more problems for me. When I know who I am, I can stay grounded in that. I don't need to add more complication to trying to solve whatever challenge it is we're trying to solve. When I am clear on who I am, then I stop worrying so much about interpreting what the other person is doing in the relationship. I'm grounded and I'm clear in who I am and what I'm going after. And so I don't worry so much. I don't get caught up in anxious thinking about, well, what is the other person thinking? I'm clear on who I am. I'm connected to who I am. I'm connected to my best. And when I'm connected to my best, I feel like that just elevates the relationships. That moves the relationship in the right place. Because being my best is never about being selfish and not caring about someone else. But when I am pursuing my best, when I am connected in a better way to my identity, then I don't look outward so much for things to confirm who I am. When I do that, I find I quickly get caught in some pretty negative thinking. I can run some scenarios in my head about what might be happening, and none of it really helps. So that's one thing that I think identity can really help you with in terms of a thriving relationship, is just being grounded in the truth of who you are so that you don't go searching outside so much. Now, I really do think, as I'm saying that, I think it's super important to realize that those around us, especially those close relationships, can shed a lot of light on who we are. So I want that information. I want their insight. But what I don't want is my identity based on what I think others think of me. I got to get clear on what that is for myself. What are those eternal truths for myself? Who I am, who I'm designed to be. Another way that knowing who you are, being clear on your identity, another way that helps create thriving relationships, it helps me be aware of what I would normally, like I would be unconscious to some needs. I would be unaware of, like, at a deeper level, what I'm wanting, what I'm needing. And so sometimes you can find yourself unconsciously trying to get needs met. You can unconsciously try to get past wounds healed. And sometimes this doesn't come out in the most positive way because we're unconscious to it, and sometimes it's connected to some deep stuff. And so if I'm not aware of who I am, I can go unconsciously sort of like fishing for certain things. And that hasn't ever really been good in my relationships with people. It's much better just to be honest and transparent and authentic. But this is something that can easily happen. So if I'm not connected with who I am, if I'm shaky on that, if I'm disconnected from that, then I can really kind of act out in some unconscious, needy ways that doesn't help a relationship. So for example, for me, if I'm not feeling good enough, if I've lost connection with my goodness, I can easily, with my wife especially, go fishing for compliments. I can say some things, and usually they come out in like negative ways, self-deprecating ways, ways that put myself down, hoping that she will then say something nice about me. And this is all done because I'm really not connected with who I am. I'm not remembering that I am loved and that I'm good. So being connected with our identity helps us to not go out and unconsciously try to get needs met. So knowing my identity helps me not look for friends or my partner or family members to try to complete me in unhealthy ways. I'm not living unrealistic to who I am. I realize who I am, I'm connected with my identity, and therefore I don't try to look for them to complete me in unrealistic ways. No one completes us. And so when we look outside for completion, it doesn't go well. It leads us down the wrong path. So knowing my identity helps me avoid looking to be completed by someone else. Knowing my identity helps me in the storms of life. It helps me stay connected with who I am, like an anchor to the truth of who I am. When the storm wants me to be blown and tossed all over the place, then my identity is anchored in the truth of who I am. I live more connected. When I understand my identity and the person I'm in a relationship with, when I understand their identity better, it just creates better teamwork. We understand our gifts and our talents and our strengths, and we can work really good as a team when we understand who each other is. So teamwork, that's why it's important to have a great sense of connection to your identity. When I understand my identity and say my partner understands her identity, or if I'm in a friendship, if I understand who I am and I understand who my friend is, boy, we can just really start to encourage each other on a deeper level. We can really start using words that touch the depths of our heart. We can really start to encourage each other to be our best self. So understanding our identity really helps enhance our encouragement of each other. I don't know about you, but I need tons of encouragement. There are so many things in life that shake my courage, and I need more courage from others. I need courage to be put into me. And when someone knows my identity, they know the values, they know my gifts, my strengths, then they can really speak to that place on a deep level. When I know my identity and the person I'm in a relationship with, when I know their identity, then I don't try to make them into something they're not. I don't try to mold them into becoming something else. I can love and appreciate who they are. And I don't try to then sort of make them someone they're not. I don't try to get them to improve on their weaknesses. Now, obviously we all have areas to grow and we all want to be pursuing growth, but I don't need to be the one trying to mold and shape them. I can just be the friend who's with them as they discover who they are. I can be the friend who just simply walks along with them on the adventure of life, trying to discover that together. And so I don't have to try to mold them into something they're not. I know who they are, and we can just work towards that. We can work towards enhancing that more and living that out more.